and welcome to another Sip and Craft video. My name is Julianne Winter. I am a sales and marketing assistant at Clos Lachance Winery, and today what we're going to be making is a really fun bunting banner for St. Patty's Day. And to pair with our bunting banner, we're going to go ahead and be sipping our Estate Meritage wine, and I'm very excited to try this out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pour our glass. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to gather our supplies. So we are going to be using a piece of yarn from here to actually hang the bunting. We're going to need painter's tape, green paint, a paintbrush, scissors, a black Sharpie, a scratch piece of white paper, something to paint part of the bunting in gold. If you have something else that's gold, could be nail polish, it could be any kind of gold paint, you can use that as well. And then of course we have our wine to sip whilst we are doing our crafting. So I'm going to be drinking the Clos Lachance Estate Meritage. This is our 2019 varietal. Very excited to be crafting and sipping with you guys. All right, let's get started, shall we? First thing we need to do is we are going to take our Sharpie and our scratch piece of paper, and we're gonna draw a triangle. So whatever size triangles you want on your bunting banner, that's what you're gonna draw. This is gonna be your template for when you're actually doing the cutting. So go ahead and draw your triangle. Does not have to be perfect. And that looks like a pretty good size for a triangle for my bunting. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my scissors. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so now I've gotten my triangle cut out. I'm gonna go ahead and have a sip here because what's next is going to be to grab our burlap. Okay, so let's grab our burlap, and I just have a roll here. You're not gonna need this much for sure, but depending on how long of a bunting banner you wanna make, that'll be determining how many triangles you need to cut out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cut out some triangles. So you can either mark off the burlap if you'd like, where the triangle is. That's one option. Or you can just use the triangle and cut around the triangle on the burlap. So whatever you find easier to do is up to you. So this is what the triangles of the bunting banner are going to look like. So again, cut as many as you need, and we will get to doing the fun part, which is going to be the painting. I've gone ahead and cut out 10 of my triangles. Now we're going to go ahead and start blocking things off and get painting. So for the ones that we're gonna do that have stripes, I've laid out the 5 here, and I'm gonna go ahead and tape across, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna be painting on the parts that are not taped, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the top part, so that way it keeps it nice and stable. And then you want to go ahead and skip about an inch or so in between each of the painter's tape strips that you're making. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some green paint on my paper. Anywhere that the bunting is showing, we are going to paint that green. And it's good to have paper underneath, because otherwise you're gonna get whatever you're painting green. So you're gonna paint every part of the burlap that's showing green. Take your breaks, have your sips, and just go to town. Have fun with it. It's St. Patty's Day after all, right? We need to have fun. Go ahead and let that dry, and then we'll get started on the gold. So if you have burlap that's like mine and it's very holy, then this pen is not going to work very well, because it's only gonna get on the certain parts of it, right? And so another option, you can get puffy paints in gold. This is actually one from IKEA, but you can get them anywhere. You're just going to squeeze it out and you're gonna fill it in, and you're gonna do this in circles. Once that's done, you're gonna wanna let it dry completely, and then we'll come back and we'll go ahead and put our bunting together at the end. So we finished painting the burlap, and now what we're gonna be doing is removing the painter's tape from the striped one, and that way we can see how it turned out. So as you can see, the striped one came out great. And you will go ahead and get your one with the spots, and those will go intermittently all the way across. I've gone ahead, I glued these, I let them sit overnight in the glue, and then peeled them off of the foil that they were on. They come off really easily, which is nice. If you need to, if it's still tacky, you can flip it over and then let it dry a little bit longer, and that's perfectly fine. So now it's really lovely because they have like a nice durableness to them now. They're not just fraying everywhere. But what we want to do is we want to trim them down so that the edges are clean, because this is not very clean right now. So let's go ahead and do that now, and then we'll be ready to string up our bunting. But first, I'm taking a sip of Meritage, okay? Yum. All right, let's get cutting. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've laid out our bunting so that I can see how long I want to cut my yarn. So we've got every other, and that way we've got a nice pattern going. And then the other thing I've done is I've created basically with a paper clip something that can go in between the holes and pull the yarn through. So if you have a yarn needle that you use in sewing and whatnot, that's great, use that. If you don't, you can just make one really easily, and you just undo the paper clip and make as small of a little eyelet as you can there, and that will be perfect for the yarn to go through. See? Okay, so let's go ahead and cut the yarn, and then we'll have a little bit extra on the ends just in case. It's easier to trim it than it is to make the yarn grow, which is not really possible. So. All right, so let's get weaving, shall we? What I want to do is I'm going to have the yarn go behind the front of it. Okay, so that means that I need to weave. I'm gonna have the end come out the front and then have that go around the back. Like I'm talking through for myself more than anything. Oh my gosh. Let's make sure I know what I'm doing here, right? So I made a little hole because some of them, you may have some of the puffy paint in the way, so you can just kind of poke through it and then it's totally fine. All right, so I'm gonna put my little threader here. I'm gonna get my yarn through, like that. And then you can just pull it back through, like that. And then find the end. Except for I did that the wrong way. Let's try that again. Actually, I could go like this. It's one of those things I just never get it right. It's like when you have a 50-50 shot. I always pick the wrong one. You don't want me on your team on a trivia thing, okay? All right, so we fixed it. It's the first one. We got this, okay? So let's keep going. This is what you get. All right. I'm crying. Oh, I'm literally crying right now. This is what happens. Oh my gosh. You can't take yourself too seriously with crafting, and you have to be able to go with the flow because things don't always come out the way that you want them to. You never know when you'll need to adjust your plan. Okay, so I'm pulling this, so you'll see that it's on the back side here, and then I'm just gonna pop that back through and then pull the end out. Should we see if I can get the next one right? So now we're gonna grab our next one. I want it to go down, so I'm going to get my little eyelet in there and grab my yarn. Okay, and then just go in And you're just gonna do this until you have them all strung up. I'll meet you back at the end and we will hang this sucker up and see how it looks. All right, here you have it. There's our bunting banner. We've connected it on the sides and in the middle. You get that drape effect. And yeah, it's just a really cute little bunting banner that is pretty easy to put together and it doesn't cost hardly any money at all. Got my Meritage. I'm gonna enjoy on a job well done. And there you have it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And if you want some more fun things to do for St. Patty's Day, we have a couple of other videos. One is for corned beef and cabbage that is paired with our Meritage as well, and we'll link that down below. And then there's also a fun wreath that you can make that's got some silk flowers, and we would love for you to have a look. Have a great day. Bye, guys.